Paltrocast.
Well, Jesse, how is your day going aside from it being almost Thanksgiving, middle of the day, so no more coffee, right?
No coffee yet at all. So no, the good thing about today is that I'm in Virginia now. I'm at my mom's house. So I get to sleep in. Breakfast gets made for me. Yes, even though I am a grown ass adult, I'm still getting my breakfast made. So yeah, I'm living the good life right now. And then of course, the trade-off is she's going to send me out to get ice and all the other stuff for Thanksgiving tomorrow. So
Do you still have the posters from childhood up in that bedroom like
no.
situation?
No, no. Thank goodness they're all torn down.
Got
That
it.
is in the past.
Well, so many things I want to ask you about, but let's start with the new music first. Are You Scared is the latest single. It has Scott Martin on it.
Yeah.
When did you actually record it? And was it part of the forthcoming album, or is it just its own session?
It's its own session. So every year I do a Halloween thing because first of all I'm a Halloween baby per se because I was born on October 28th. So like that's my holiday, that's my time of year. I love Halloween. So every year we would do a cover song and put up a fun video, and it's just kind of like the stakes are getting higher and higher every year.
Mhm.
And last year I did like this really slamming cover, well, slamming in my opinion. It was a mashup of Superstition and Thriller, and I thought it was like super amazing. I'm like, oh my goodness, how am I gonna top that so I wasn't able to hook up with Scott last year. Usually he's like my Halloween partner because he's also a Scorpio November baby, so like we're close together, and Halloween is our jam. So this year, I reached out, and he reached out, and we were like, let's just do it. So I was like, well, what are we gonna do? Because you don't want to do the same old. I don't want to do Monster Mash. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna write an original, and that's what I did, and things were coming together so well. I was like, you know what, we need to put this out. This is kind of cool. It kind of fits for Halloween, and I think it's something that I could bring out every year. And I'm
Mhm.
really I love that I have my own Halloween song, but also I was like, this kind of just slaps. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you now, if I can rudely cut you off, I put my wife through torturous means a couple of weeks ago where I wanted to see what other songs the guy who did the Monster Mash did. Did you
I
ever look into this?
no, I figured that was like it.
No, I guess he had the old school A&R mentality of, well, he had one hit, so he should have more monster hits. I recommend you look to see the other Boris Pickett.
Boris See, I didn't even know his name. That's like a classic name in itself. Like I want him to be a Halloween character in the next, Jason movie.
Yeah. Well, hey, over to you. We're not talking about Boris Pickett for that long. So, besides this new single, I mean, you have never stopped working as a side person. I'm sure I saw you live opening for Guns N' Roses with Lenny Kravitz. You were on that tour, right?
Was on that tour, yeah.
Yeah. So, I know I saw you there. Uh, I don't know if I saw you with Duran Duran or Chic. I don't think I saw you with Kid Rock. I don't think I've yet seen you with Little Steven, but I know I've seen you at like a cutting room show or a Joe's Pub show at some point in time. So, where does the singer songwriter journey start versus just being this never ending working side person?
it's they run into each other because in this industry, especially on the kind of level where I am, it's almost like you're always chasing the gig. It's with music, it's like you have the feast or famine. Like you're either like, oh yeah, everything is great, I have all this work, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, where's my next gig?
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you're constantly chasing the gig, and then in between those moments, or one late night after you had a whole pizza, then you're like, oh god, you have this inspiration and you're like, I gotta get this down. So and that's kind of how my last album was written. part of it came out of a really difficult situation, but
Right.
part of, some of the other songs just kind of came in between the work. You just kind of write when you can, and then when you get that 5 minutes to yourself, then you go in the studio, or you call up friends, you beg, borrow, and steal until you can get the record done, and or until you feel like you have, oh, I have a collection that I like and this is going to work, let's do this. And then it's just so frustrating because you might have the work done, but then you got to do this with the label and do that. So
Right.
but I do feel like the timing it comes out when it's supposed to come out. Shoes Dropping, even though it came out during COVID, dear Lord, the blessing was that little Steven heard it and it was like, I really want this to be a part of my label. And and if things hadn't worked out the way it did, that would have never happened. That magical moment of me being able to go to approach him like, hey, listen to this record, and him being like, yeah, this is it. So you just find the moments, where the intersectionality between chasing the gig and finding a moment for yourself is. That's where you take that moment and you write what's in your heart.
Well, that's a great answer. That's different from one of the interviews I did last year was Jeff Skunk Baxter, who we know from his work with Steely Dan and Doobie Brothers, etc. And I think his first solo album was 2022. So
Oh,
sometimes the person who's the never ending session person and touring person, they're like, I've no intentions of being a solo artist ever. So in your case, were you a singer songwriter way before all the gigs started?
yeah, I guess I've always been writing. Like, even when I was a kid, I was writing poetry. It was always just a moment where I was sitting down with a pen and a book and a journal, whatever, and it was coming out. Because growing up, I thought I was going to go to medical school. I thought I was going to be a psychiatrist. Singing kind of came out of left field. Or if I was going to do anything in the entertainment industry, I thought I was going to be an actress. I was like, oh, I love the stage. And that was what I was doing in high school and college. And I really do think it's divine intervention that led me on the path to singing full time, because it was more like, oh, I'd be singing part of a show or something, but it wouldn't be like that's the thing. And then somehow I got directed onto this path as being a singer. But the writing was always there first. I've always loved writing, and it got to the point where I was in college, and my mom hooked me up with this situation where it was funny. She was like, "You need to write a song, write a song," and I was like, okay. I wrote a song, and I had like this internship at this music production house, and they were like, oh, I like this, and then I just started writing more songs,
Mhm.
and it became like, it was a thing. I'm writing for other people, I'm writing for myself, and I still write a lot of songs for a lot of dance tracks for a lot of other artists. um yeah, I think writing has always kind of been my first love. And then once I kind of accepted that, oh, I do have this ability, I can be a good singer, because I was very insecure at one point. um
Hmm.
then that moment was like, no, this is what you're supposed to do, because everything in your life is leading up to this point now. And then it was like, oh, okay, God, I get it now. Okay, I'm on the right path. This is what you want me to do.
Well, a lot of the credits that I mentioned before, one thing that those artists have in common is they don't just do one genre. Like when you're in Chic, obviously there's disco, then there's the hard funk happening, etc. With Duran Duran, sometimes they're disco bands, sometimes it's new wave.
Right.
So Kid Rock, one song's country, and then the next song is soul, and the next thing's metal, and he's rapping on the next one. So you are very versatile in terms of what you can do. Is the music that we hear on Shoes Dropping your natural state? In other words, do you gravitate naturally to one genre?
Well, that's just it. Shoes Dropping is very schizophrenic. As
In a
far
good way. I mean, there's good
yeah.
schizophrenic and bad schizophrenic.
Right. No, I because I've always grown up listening to all kind of genres, and like you said, I've been so fortunate to have the kind of musical influences that I've worked with that embrace different styles as well. Like even with Lenny Kravitz, in one moment you have It Ain't Over Till It's Over, and the
Yeah.
next are you gonna go my
Fly
way?
Away has nothing to do with that, or Mr. Cab Driver, or Rock and Roll is Dead.
Exactly,
The mixtape,
and
basically.
like he was always one of the artists that I always wanted to work with because of that. It's like you don't feel confined, but yet you're like, that's a Lenny Kravitz song. No matter what, even if it
Yeah.
sounds whatever the vibe or feel it is, that's his signature stamp. And I feel like the way I write, even though I take from different elements, like some things I'll take country, some takes I'll blues, singer songwriter, whatever. But I feel like my voice is like this unifying denominator between all the different genres, and that's what brings it and makes it more of a cohesive package than just this chick doesn't know what she wants to do. No, it's because I love it all, and it's like, why not? And I'm so grateful to Steve Van Zandt for recognizing that, because I feel like a lot of other people try to say, you need to be this. And I've had that a lot in my career coming
Yeah.
up. It's like, no, you can't do that. You look like this, you need to be doing this, or you sound like this, you need to stay in that box. And I'm like, I love it all. It does come out in my voice. You can hear it in different songs that I can attack or approach it because it is a part of me. It's not, I'm not faking this. When I write a song and the melody comes out a certain way, that is who I am. That's because I embrace all different genres of music.
Every now and then the A&R people are right with the pigeonholing. Not always. Like, I think they were correct about the Mariah Carey grunge album that should have been shelved. That was correct. But
There's the Mariah Carey.
yeah, look that one up. Only
That's
one
going
or
on
two.
the playlist.
I think she won't confirm nor deny, but people are going, oh yeah, that's her on backing vocals, etc. But in your case, were there albums that were shelved over the years?
um there were projects that I've presented to people where they were like, no, we don't think this is you. Or like, there were times I have gone to labels, and because I was a lot heavier in the rock music back in the day, and they're like, why are you doing rock music? You don't have the look for rock music. Black female artists don't go over well, it's not going to work. I've gotten a lot of that, so it was very demoralizing, and it was hard because I was really trying to break through, and I felt like I had some really good tunes. I mean, I don't know, again, this is it's all subjective, but I was like, if you just give me a chance, and I think a lot of people didn't want to give me the chance because they were like, no, we see you as this, and that's how you should be.
Yeah, I think that all of our favorite artists, they have one or two shelved albums or false starts. I think there was a Macy Gray album where she sounded like Lenny Kravitz that never came out. There's a
Yeah.
Sheryl Crow Soul record before that first one after the Michael Jackson stuff. So you're not alone in all that. That's where I'm going. In other
Yeah.
words, this is the right journey for you. It took a little bit,
Yeah.
but you kind of are where you're supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's such a strange life being in this industry, and you get turned around, you feel like, oh, maybe this is it, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing, and then you have one instance where something in the universe says, no, it's okay, just stick with it. And I've had a couple of those moments. I still, I'm not going to say that I don't have those doubts. There are those days where I'm like, what am I
You're
doing?
an artist. You're
Yeah.
you're supposed to hate at least 30% of days.
Yes. I'd say 35, but
35.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, a couple of generic questions for you before I let you go. And the first one is, your press release says that the second album is coming out in 2024. Do you know what 2024 is looking like for you otherwise? Is there touring? Are there tours that you're part of? Or do we just keep having to check Instagram to know?
Well, I would say that's the number one answer, period. Just keep checking Instagram, because things pop up. I do a lot of cover band gigs, so if you just want to see me rocking out, having fun in Long Island, just keep checking in.
Wait, you're a Long Island person?
I gig in Long Island a lot.
I didn't. I'm dialing in from Long Beach, Long Island, New York. Have you had any gigs out here?
because it's all a big mishmash. I couldn't tell you Long Beach from Patchogue, but but I feel like I have. If I'm if you check my Instagram, you
Yeah, there you go.
I can tell you which Long Island clubs that I perform at. But yeah, I do a lot of stuff, in the meantime, downtime. But I might be going out and doing some shows with someone next year. I'm not at liberty to say. Things haven't been finalized right just yet. So, but if that does go through, yeah, I'll put that up first of next year, and so I'm hoping that things work out with that thing. But I don't want to jinx it. We clear the air.
Right. Next question. Being an acclaimed vocalist, and I'm calling you that. You didn't call yourself an acclaimed vocalist and all that. Do you hang out with a lot of other sidemen and backing singers, or are you an island and you stay in your own lane and then mostly hang out with normal people?
I mostly hang out with Netflix. I'm a hermit, so but no, I've been so fortunate because every gig I've been on, I've created bonds with all the background singers, all the musicians. Like, I could still call up my girl Yazara from Lenny Kravitz band, whenever she comes into town, and we still chat and hang. My girl Tanya Jones from Little Stevens, the Disciples of Soul, we cut up every week almost on the phone. We'll spend hours on the phone or hanging out, whatever. So I'm truly, truly blessed that in every gig, like anytime Duran Duran comes into town, I go see Anna because she's one of the most beautiful hearted people. I've just been so fortunate because you hear about the cattiness, and I've seen it, and I have experienced some of it, but I had not on my major gigs. I've experienced nothing but true sisterhood, true love, true brother sisterhood with everybody I've worked with. All the musicians, I feel like I could call up and be like, "Hey, how you doing? You want to hang?" And it'd be like old times. So yeah, I've been fortunate.
That's great to hear. So, stupid question. Last question, then I'll let you go. Here's the stupid one. Your record was produced by Dave Diamond. Does
Yeah.
anyone call him Diamond Dave?
uh they call him Double D.
They call him Double D.
Double
That's
D.
good enough response.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another Long Island cat. You need to check him out. And we do shows at Still Partners. So I don't know if you ever get out there. Yeah, you're gonna see some fun shows with Dave Diamond. Dave Diamond is a brilliant performer. He also write music. And yeah, I've been so fortunate to have him produce my records. But we do some fun. We just did Sly and the Family Stone, and it killed. It killed. We need to do that one again. So yeah, check the Instagram. And
Yeah. And another group you're able to perform that does not have one genre to it. So kudos to you on that. And last question for you, because it's your industry, but what's the last concert that you went to for fun? Not because you were meeting up with your friend or auditioning or co-writing or opening or anything like that.
that is, oh my God, that's a tough one because I feel like every show, I was so fortunate when I was on tour with Lenny Kravitz. We do a lot of festivals, so we
Mhm.
get to sneak in and see other performers. And I was obsessed with No Doubt when I was younger, obsessed. And we got to go see um No Doubt. This wasn't the last one. I think the last one I got to see voluntarily was Boys to Men, and that was pretty exciting because we got to hang out backstage and they gave us a rose on stage. So I was like, oh. But No Doubt,
What's the Rose song? Is it On Bended Knee
I
or?
think it was Bended Knee,
Yeah.
and Sean came and had, because they were throwing him out to the audience, but then me, Tanya, and Sarah, when we were with Little Stevens, those are the other
Right.
soulmates with the Disciples of Soul. We were standing on the side of the stage, and he came over and gave each of us a rose, and we were like, "Ah," you know. So that was pretty exciting. But yeah, when I got to see Gwen Stefani, and I'm singing every single lyric, you know, of every song. I think that was probably, I'm like, I'm getting chills just thinking about it, because I was like, okay, I'm living my childhood right now. And she was like one of my idols, because she's one of my favorite writers. And I was like, if I could write anything close to how she writes, you know. So it was so fulfilling to see this woman that I admire and cherish, and I'm like, amazing songwriter, and right there in front of me. And I'm, you know, so I take that one with me. I voluntarily went to see that one. Yes.
Good taste. Well, Jessie, thank you for the great music. Hope to see you live, whether it's covers, originals, or both in the very near future. And thanks for being an original voice all these years.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I've enjoyed our chat.
Paltrocast.